Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift that is actively rewiring the global economy. We're going to bridge the gap between two forces you might not initially think go together: the sweeping workforce disruption caused by artificial intelligence and the vital, lawful pathways of human labor migration. I know it sounds like two completely different worlds, but as you'll see, they are structurally connected. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover AI and workforce transformation, the EB-3 worker migration, pathways from an F1 visa to a green card, how to navigate legal status changes, and finally, ensuring compliance and transparency. Let's get right into it. First up, AI and workforce transformation. 300 million. That is a staggering number. Goldman Sachs actually projects that artificial intelligence could automate nearly 300 million full-time jobs globally. I mean, that's a seismic shift, right? It's literally forcing industries and governments around the world to completely rethink their long-term workforce strategies. But, it's not just about jobs disappearing. It's more like a massive structural reshuffling. McKinsey notes that AI can boost productivity by up to 40% in knowledge-intensive sectors. But when you factor in data from the World Economic Forum, you see the real friction. AI is projected to create 69 million jobs, sure, but it's also set to eliminate 83 million. So, doing the math, that leaves us with a global net loss of 14 million jobs. And honestly, this is the pivot point of our whole explainer today. While AI is spreading like wildfire through the knowledge economy, automating tasks and demanding new digital skills, foundational industries like manufacturing, food service, logistics, and construction, they still absolutely rely on human hands. Think about it. AI can't build a house, it can't serve you a meal at a restaurant, and it definitely can't manually pack a specialized warehouse order at scale. These physical, essential human sectors have an enduring labor need that domestic workforces simply aren't filling right now.
Which brings us to part 2, the EB-3 worker migration.
So to navigate this incredibly high demand, organizations step in to help. For example, CIVA USA Inc. out of New York provides the critical educational awareness, process guidelines, and compliance support needed to bridge this exact gap. Their whole focus is on connecting U.S. employers who are desperately needing essential workers with global talent that's looking for lawful immigration pathways. Let's formally define what we're talking about here. The EB-3 Other Workers, or Unskilled program, is a long-term, structured U.S. employment-based green card pathway. It's designed specifically for jobs that require less than 2 years of training or experience. But here is the absolute key takeaway. It requires employer sponsorship and lawful compliance. This isn't some quick shortcut, guys. It's a highly regulated process that connects pre-vetted U.S. employers in those essential sectors with eligible workers.
All right, let's move on to part 3, pathways from an F1 visa to a green card.
Now, if you're an international student, consider this timeline your ultimate playbook. Step 1 is your F1 visa and graduation. Then Step 2, utilizing OPT, optional practical training, and potentially a 24-month STEM OPT extension to gain some solid U.S. work experience. But here is the critical pivot, which is Step 3, transitioning into EB-3 unskilled employer sponsorship. That is the actual bridge that leads you to Step 4, achieving a U.S. green card. It's a very clear, sequential path from a temporary student status to permanent residency.
But there is a catch. OPT and STEM OPT are strictly temporary, and man, that clock moves incredibly fast. You really can't just sit around and wait until your OPT is expiring to figure out your next move. Because the EB-3 process takes time, early employer sponsorship and structured planning are absolutely essential if you actually want to secure your long-term future in the U.S.
Next up, Section 4. Navigating legal status changes.
So, this brings us to the change of status, or COS. The biggest benefit here is that it allows you to switch your visa type, say going from an F1 student to an employment-based status, without actually having to leave the United States. It's super convenient. However, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. While it definitely helps avoid those frustrating international processing delays, even a single mistake in your filing can lead to severe visa issues. It absolutely requires a rigorous, careful eligibility review before you file anything. I really love this quote because it hits the nail on the head regarding the mindset you need. Stay legal, stay confident, and move forward the right way with trusted guidance. The U.S. immigration system is notoriously complex. Getting professional help to prepare your application and guide you safely through the USCIS process is hands down the best way to remove stress and make sure you're taking the right steps.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, ensuring compliance and transparency.
When it comes to processing timelines, there are a lot of variables at play. And let's be totally clear, processing timelines are never guaranteed. If anyone ever promises you a guaranteed timeline or some sort of magic shortcut, literally walk away immediately. Legitimate EB-3 processing depends heavily on factors completely outside your control. It's things like monthly visa bulletin movements, the specific employer's hiring cycle, thorough Department of Labor reviews, and current USCIS processing speeds. True transparency means accepting that this is a phase-by-phase, long-term commitment. And while you're waiting in that process, data privacy is your best defense. When you're handling sensitive immigration documents, always use secure, trackable couriers. Never share your personal paperwork on public forums or social media platforms. And make sure you use secure, traceable payment methods, like ACH, wire transfers, Zelle, or credit cards. Again, beware of those illegal, guaranteed approvals. Ethical organizations will always prioritize lawful process awareness over empty, illegal promises. Coming full circle back to our macro view from the beginning of this explainer, this quote really nails it. The future isn't some dystopian human versus AI scenario. It's actually human plus AI collaboration. AI is going to handle the data and the routine digital tasks to increase productivity, while lawful immigration pathways like the EB-3 program will sustain the essential physical human workforce that keeps our infrastructure, logistics, and supply chains actually moving. So I want to leave you with this final thought for your own journey. Automation is accelerating fast, and the demand for essential human labor is shifting right along with it. Are you navigating your career and your legal immigration pathways with a clear, long-term strategy? Understanding the rules, preparing early, and prioritizing compliance is exactly how you secure your place in the future workforce. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.